Sometimes I forget who I am to other people because I look at myself in the mirror every day and I'm just a normal person who's trying to figure life out. But the kids here, they remind me. You know, when I walk out these doors, there'll be kids probably sitting outside and they'll lose their minds when they see me. And I was just like, wow. Because I was once a little kid yearning for like opportunity. There's not a lot of people that they look at and it's like, oh, I can resonate with that. I can be that. So here, when I'm here, it's just like the sentiments are way different. I mean, I get goosebumps over and over and over. Like, it never gets old.
Just to repeat what Trey and I said, championship teams do this every night. Every single night. You would know. Yeah.
From G League tryout to NBA champ, Juan Toscano-Anderson has just about seen it all.
Check out the jersey, too, the colors of the Mexican flag.
Jump over him. No, I'm not jumping over him.
He did, and windmilled it, too.
This year, he joins the Mexico City Capitanes, going back to the country where he started his pro career to help grow the game and begin his next chapter.
You know, basketball's big here, the fans are great, and I just wanted to come back and have a good showing.
Starring Juan Toscano-Anderson. This is season 2 of The Break, presented by the General Insurance.
I chose 95 because that's the street I was raised on. My grandpa came from Mexico, migrated to the United States. You know, in this journey, like, nobody does it alone, right? And so that was kind of like my way for my family to feel a part of this journey. I actually started my career here in Mexico City playing with the national team in pre-Olympics. I had pretty much accomplished pretty much everything in Mexico. Like, I had won 2 championships, MVP, slam dunk contest back-to-back, All-Star Game MVP, and like, I wanted more. So I went for a tryout in the G League, and it ended up working out.
Steph steals it. Steph with the steal's got to beat Malachi Flynn.
Toscano-Anderson's got to be.
Oh, I like your shoe.
He's got to be the sentimental favorite here. Guy was undrafted.
True.
Played at Argentina and Venezuela and Mexico on the G League in Santa Cruz. Juan Toscano-Anderson.
Oh, I'm liking this. It's over. The Golden State Warriors return to a familiar place. They're on top of the NBA world.
I used to like calculate how many years it would take for me to make X amount of dollars, like if I played overseas for X amount of years. And then I was like, I got to the NBA and it's like, wow, in 1 year, I made the amount of money that I was like planning on, like, you know, financially planning on making 10 to 15 years down the line. The situation just presented itself for me to have the opportunity. And I think that's what this business is all about is, you know, situations, opportunities, timing. It's actually kind of crazy in full circle. Like, Ramon was actually on the coaching staff when I came to the national team in 2015.
La verdad que mi historia con Juan es muy bonita, ¿no? Porque, como te he dicho, llegué en 2013 a México con la selección nacional. En 2015 Juan se incorpora a la selección y vivimos un campeonato muy especial y muy bonito para México, que fue el preolímpico para clasificar a las Olimpiadas de 2016. Se celebró aquí en Ciudad de México y fue un boom porque más de 20.000 personas todos los días en la arena. Se generó un ambiente increíble alrededor de la selección y eso hizo que el grupo estuviera muy unido, ¿no? Seguía sin saber que el camino no iba a volver a juntar otra vez. Cuando hablamos con él hace como 3 meses y surge la posibilidad de que él pueda venir a Capitanes, la verdad, para mí era muy importante, no solo por lo que él va a generar para Capitanes, de más fans, más marcas, va a ayudar mucho a Capitanes a crecer, sino para mí era bonito poder volver a entrenarlo, tener a un jugador con la experiencia de haber sido campeón de la NBA, que todo el conocimiento que él tiene lo pueda trasladar y transferir a nosotros, era muy, muy importante.
Win on three, 1, 2, 3, win!
I could have went to Europe, you know, and got way more money, had, you know, quote unquote better opportunities, but I thought this was the best opportunity for me. There's so many moving parts to why I chose this. You know, it's the G League, so I can stay close to the NBA. I do feel like I'm an NBA talent and I can play at that level. 2, it's Mexico, so like this is the perfect situation for me in regards to like off-court opportunities. And then 3, like I understand the business and I understand the market's growing and the NBA wants to grow and expand. I mean, they have to. Mexico, it definitely has the market and the support for that. And you know, as kids, and I always talk to like young black men and minorities, like we only dream of like playing for the team, you know, and that's cool. Like we only dream of making it to the MLB or the NBA or NFL, but like, you know, growing up, we never talk about like, oh, I want to be an owner or I want to be a commissioner. And I feel like, you know, here, based on what I have going for myself already and then what I will continue to build, like that'll be part of my legacy. People will, you know me forever and remember my name forever. So like, how cool would that be if I could help bring a team here?
So that's definitely the goal of the Capitan. That's one of our goals, to be an NBA team. And I think if we just keep looking like an NBA team, I think if our arena keeps getting more and more fans, if the TV viewership gets higher and higher, I think it'd be a no-brainer to be an NBA team. So I think this year is going to be big for us.
La gente ama la NBA en México. Hoy va a haber un partido de NBA completamente lleno, pero es que mañana va a haber un partido de G-League y va a haber también la misma afición. México quiere un equipo de NBA y la gente lo va a pedir todos los días.
México, fuertes los aplausos para Juan Toscano, campeón de la NBA y ahora se integra al equipo de Chile Capitanes. Juan, ¿cuál es tu expectativa ahora que te unes al equipo de Capitanes de la G-League aquí en la Ciudad de México?
Pues primero que todo quiero dar las gracias a todos ustedes que están aquí. La gran meta es traer un equipo de la NBA aquí a México, ¿no? Y con ustedes podemos enseñar a la NBA que tenemos todo para tener un equipo, el mercado, el apoyo, el orgullo también.
Fuerte los aplausos, por favor, para Juan Toscano.
Juan Toscano-Anderson. Y tengo que decirte, Juan, Fabricio se va a quedar un día más para verte mañana jugar contra Capitanes.
Ok, no hay presión, no hay presión.
Así me gusta, nunca vos tenés presión.
No hay presión.
How do you like playing in the city?
Oh, I love it here. It's amazing. I mean, Mexico City is one of a kind. Playing in Mexico here is amazing. I mean, I'm Mexican. Mexican people are very proud people, so you know they come out and support their teams. It's amazing here.
Y nosotros también estamos muy orgullosos.
Muchas gracias.
De ti, porque nosotros somos latinoamericanos igual que tú.
Y después todo lo que ha puesto en los equipos que he estado, equipos difíciles para encajar y encontrar el lugar con trabajo, no importa si te dan 10 minutos, si jugás 40, titular, suplente, eso es lo que ha marcado, ¿no? Y mientras que vemos, contame la parte física que ha estado.
Es difícil jugar aquí.
La velocidad es tremenda.
También es de volver a verte en la NBA, así es que no pierdas nunca ese sueño.
No, nunca voy a rendir.
Enhorabuena.
Voy a seguir luchando.
Mañana lo vamos a ver.
Soy ejemplo para los niños.
Eso, ahí está.
Y para mis niños también.
Muy bien.
Muchas gracias.
Juan Toscano-Anderson.
Mañana nos vemos.
Con nosotros, un placer.
I found a lot of ups and downs in my career. When I left Golden State, we won a championship, like that was the top of the world for me. And then when I left to the Lakers, then I started the season, I had 3 injuries, like back to back to back. And it was just like a snowball effect. And that's why I said I'm a normal person like everybody else. I really struggle with a lot internally because I wasn't able to get on the floor. And then when I was able to get on the floor, then I got hurt. And then I got traded to Utah, and then I found myself out of the league, you know? And I don't think people talk about that enough. I don't think people talk about like what that does to guys like myself. You know, you find yourself on top of the world and it's just like 8 months later, like you feel like you're on face down on the ground, you know? But that's what it takes in life, to fall on your face, to really realize what's most important. And like I said, like I want to create a legacy. I want to make history. Like this is the perfect opportunity for me to continue to do so. And so I want to bring a championship here.
Well, welcome to opening night around the G League here in Mexico City. The Capitanes welcome in the Osceola Magic on opening night, the night after the NBA came to Mexico City. The Capitanes open up their second full season hosting games in the G League. Mexico City expected to have close to 10,000 in attendance for tonight's season opener. The Capitanes under the tutelage of seventh-year head coach Ramon Diaz, and the Capitanes have a bevy of NBA veterans, including Michael Carter-Williams, Kenneth Faried, Trey Burke, and Juan Toscano-Anderson, who's quickly become a fan favorite around these parts.
I'm one of the marquee guys, and so like there's a lot more on my shoulders, and it's crazy. Like when I would go home and lay down after games, I would always, this is funny, I would always say, man, I wonder how Steph Curry feels showing up every day to every game with all that pressure. Like when I was on the Warriors, like if we lose, it's on Steph Curry. When I was on the Lakers, if we lose, it's on LeBron James. Like that's a lot of pressure, but that's like a fun light to be in, you know? And so I wanted to make sure like I came out like guns blazing.
Of course, on the other side, it's Mac McClung leading this Magic squad south of the border. If you're not familiar with the G League, you should be, because almost half of NBA rosters around the association this year include ex-G League players. And here comes Mac McClung. He goes up and under. Razzle-dazzle from the reigning NBA dunk champion, Juan Toscano-Anderson. Si, senor! His second tray of the opening quarter.
Our guys know that. We made it very clear, like recruiting our guys, like we want to win. Like you'll see the Mexican fans, and they're as passionate as any fan base to win. So that's our goal, and that's how we're going to grow the sport, by getting fans into the crowd. And at the same time, if we win, I think that's how we get to these guys to the next level.
Toscano-Anderson underneath, and a two-hand rim rocker. Pereira hammers it down. 8 straight Mexico City points. Dylan Murphy, the first-year head coach, wants to talk things over. This record-setting G League crowd into a frenzy early in Mexico City. The Capitanes on an 8-0 run.
We try and also not just have the former NBA players who can help us be competitive, but we want to be the pipeline for future of Latin American players.
As you get a look at Ramon Diaz. He's been the head coach here in Mexico City since the inception of the franchise back in 2017. And they started in the NPBL, first team outside of the US and Canada to play in the G League.
Si nos hubieses preguntado 6, 7 años atrás cuando esto inició, sería difícil pensar o creer que a día de hoy podríamos estar aquí, pero sí que lo estamos, muy consecuentes de que estamos aquí, que estamos haciendo un buen trabajo y sobre todo con la mentalidad no puesta en el futuro, en que queremos seguir creciendo, queremos hacer las cosas mejor, queremos tener más impacto en la sociedad mexicana, más impacto en Latinoamérica y sobre todo ayudar cada vez más a que jóvenes tengan la posibilidad de llegar a jugar a la NBA.
Mexico City, Nate Pierre-Louis grabs the loose ball. Toscano-Anderson again, 3 makes. And a bucket, another one for JTA. He's had a huge first half in his Capitanes debut.
Y ahora falta el último paso, el último step, que es que nosotros también tenemos que ayudar a Juan. ¿A qué tenemos que ayudar a Juan? Juan tiene el sueño de intentar volver a jugar en la NBA.
Yes, I want to get back to the NBA, of course. I mean, the money's amazing, the perks are amazing, but I didn't always find myself the happiest being in the NBA because there's a fine line, right? Like everybody wants to play, but everybody can't play. That's just the way it goes.
Klung has been conspicuously quiet, and he finally connects. McClung, well, he's feeling it now. Mac McClung, 6 points in the quarter, dances along the end line, feeds it up top. Queen down the lane, and it's a 2-point game. Offense has not been as easy to come by for Mexico City since the first quarter.
It's give or take, right? Like, I'm not saying I prefer one or the other. Like, it's really cool to make millions of dollars. But it was also really cool to be the guy to finish a game in front of 16,000 people.
Here comes JTA with a head of steam and a finger roll finish. A 20-piece for Juan Toscano-Anderson. Another loose ball. Pierre-Louis picks it up. A 3-on-1. JTA off the glass and in. Pierre-Louis into the paint, uses the offhand. And it rolls in. A tap back for Juan Toscano-Anderson.
I only have so much time to enjoy these opportunities, and so like I found myself in the past, year or so, like really understanding like the value of happiness and just what it means to, life. Like, you can't function if you're not happy, man. And so regardless of how much money you make.
And JTA will leave the floor, shares a hug with his head coach Ramon Diaz, and gets a huge ovation from the home crowd in Mexico City. 108-97, the final score tonight in Mexico City. The Capitanes have opened the new season with a victory.
No hay ningún lugar como México y como la ciudad de México. Es un placer estar aquí jugando enfrente de mi gente. Gracias a todos ustedes por el apoyo. Nos vemos el domingo. Nobody's going to win. Nobody. Nobody. I got a new name for each. Tough buckets. Just to repeat what Trey and I said, championship teams do this every night. Every single night. You would know. Yeah. And we got to get back to work tomorrow morning. Let's go. Let's go. Capitan is on 3. 1, 2, 3.
I want everybody to be able to, fulfill their lifelong dreams, whether that's go to the NBA or play in Europe or, whatever else it may be. And so I feel like if I do all those 3 things, be happy, win a championship, make my teammates better, like, I'll find myself back in the NBA.
Tune in every month to the G League season for a new episode of The Break. You're not going to want to miss it.